Oh, they sold her with that animation. That she shows up, beats the tar out of everyone.
Uh-huh. You good?
No, my cat decided all of a sudden to now just be the most obnoxious possible. She's just
I actually heard that.
Yeah, she's just walking around the room, knocking things over, just making as much noise as possible.
She's like, do you have to stop recording?
She's been asleep in the same spot for 4 hours, and now she's just like, ah.
Don't talk about Yixuan, talk about me.
Yixuan.
Hello, and welcome back to the 6th Street Underground, a Zenless Zone Zero fan cast discussing all things ZZZ. As always, I'm your host, Eric, and I'm joined by my ever-wonderful co-host, Brian. Hi, Brian.
We stand now on the precipice of change.
No, keep going. You got this.
Oh, sorry. That was the last episode's show notes.
Yeah, walk it back. This episode's show notes. It's come to an end.
The end of ZZZ.
It's the end. No.
Season
Don't
1.
even scare people like that. Okay. Oh, okay. Whew.
No, that's called a dramatic pause. That's what that is.
That was really good. I had this brief moment. I was like, I'm going to have to talk to Brian about things that aren't ZZZ. And I don't know if I can do that anymore. So I need this. I need it to stay.
Yeah, now here's the question.
Yep.
Would it be YYY or AAA?
Oh. No, it would actually be YYZ. And they're just going to walk it back. I feel really good about that. I know you don't, but I feel really good about that one. And I'm going to leave it in.
I was just going to leave you with that awkward silence.
I loved it. I thought that was great.
While the aging demographic forget who Rush even is.
If our Discord is any indicator, our fan base would get that reference because our fan base is full of dads. So they may still get a Rush reference in 2025. That's what I'm banking on. Brian, it's out. The second half of the epilogue has been released. Vivian is in our hands. I got her. Did you get Vivian?
You know I got Vivian.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah.
She's gonna be the last person I pull for before season 2.
I might put a tenner on Hugo. Just on the off chance that I get a really lucky early S rank, because then that would be building pity, which I know is a thing we said never do. But I'd be okay with
always build pity.
I said I'm okay with losing like a tenner to see what happens. Yeah, unfortunately, as much as I'm excited for Hugo, the presence of what 2.0 promises is like it's worthwhile to save up. And we'll talk about that some in a little bit too, because I do want to talk about Yixuan and what we know about her now. I also got Vivian. Did you go for her W engine?
No. It took a lot to get Vivian, so I didn't have enough for her W engine. And I want to make sure I have enough in the bank for season 2 for Big Ben 2, Panda Boogaloo, and Yixuan. Yixuan.
Oh, man. I need to hear someone say it again. All right. Okay.
We're pronouncing this phonetically.
I'll find it. It'll be good. Phonetically, I took a video of it. I'll share it to our Discord. Somebody said SJAL's name in game.
Yeah, Vivian did. She called her S-Jaw.
No, she didn't, because we were both wrong. But you were more wrong.
No. You forget Vivian has an accent. So in Vivian's accent, it's a silent J. But in real life, it's S-Jaw.
Brian says that it's just the opposite of your accent, where you pronounce all silent letters.
Yeah. Look, if I'm paying for those letters, I'm going to use them. Which
is hypocritical, because in high school, you once gouged a scar into my arm because I kept pronouncing pterodactyl as pterodactyl.
Well, that's different. That was just ridiculous.
I also got Vivian. I didn't get her W engine for kind of the same reason you said. Like, there's enough coming down the pipeline, and also one, she doesn't necessarily need it the same way Trigger wanted her engine or Miyabi wanted hers. But also Vivian is in a nice spot because she has a really good free to play option that you can get with zero gacha period.
Yeah,
because she can use Weeping. Is it Weeping Gemini? Is the name of it?
Yeah, I think so. Because I was looking and I was like, I'm not going for a W engine. What do I have available? And then the internet said Weeping Willow, and I said, oh, I've had one of those. That clearly was at one point on someone else because it was already at level 40. But I don't know who 60. It was on.
I want to say I had it on Yanagi before I put something else on Yanagi. But that's one of the ones you can get from the store on 6th Street. Yeah. So like, not only is it easy to get, it's easy to max out.
Yeah.
So I like that about her. We always do this. We jump around on characters, but I liked that I could build her without needing to like feel like I was missing something because I didn't get her W engine. The same way, like I kind of felt like if you don't get like triggers, she's still really good, but you don't have that extra defense shred.
Or Miyabi, where she wants crit, but no anomaly. W engine has crit because crit's not normally something an anomaly cares about.
Yeah, it's the dumps. I think when that must be the back edge of this double-edged sword of getting characters who break the mold of their archetype. Is that it's really cool that this character needs X, Y, and Z, but if you really want them to be at their like max capacity, you're going to get their W engine because we're not going to release a Defender W engine with impact on it. So figure that out, right?
Yeah.
So I like it, but it's also kind of a bummer sometimes. But let's talk about Vivian. Let's talk about Vivian. I know we're both using her. What's your current go-to team with her?
I just do the standard Vivian double stunner comp.
It's Vivian, Lycone, and Coleta.
Yeah,
which I think in that setup, no one is activating a buff.
No one is happy
They're
with
all
going
to be neutral.
I saw you blink as your brain processed what I saw.
Sometimes I make the mistake of thinking you're going to give me a straight answer, and I have to remind myself what show we're making.
Never in my life will I give you no, I'm running her just the kind of standard Yanagi, Vivian, and then Astra Yao.
I didn't know you had Yanagi.
I've been pretty low-key about having her, but...
Yeah, this is not a big thing. Yeah, me too. I mean, I've dabbled with her with some other teams just to mess around a little bit.
But it feels like Yanagi works well because she wants time on the field, but also doesn't like demand 100% or like a ton of time. Like Miyabi or Jane Doe want more time on the field.
For sure. I feel like the longer Yanagi is out, the more I appreciate how phenomenally flexible her kit is in like 5 different ways. Because not only to your point that she's easy to build around, but like the interplay of her attack string and her EX or her special attack, there is just so much flexibility in playing her that it just, you always feel like you're kind of prepared, right? And Vivian has shown up to really pop off and make Yanagi shine.
Yeah.
Like shine. Because like for a while she was Miyabi's friend.
Yeah,
right?
and she kind of still is. But it reminds me of when I was running Yanagi before Miyabi, where Yanagi was the head. And then with Miyabi, she kind of just shows up, drops her electricity bomb, and then flies back out for Miyabi to keep doing her thing. And then now it's kind of the opposite, where Vivian goes up, she builds her feathers, flies off, and then Yanagi just stabs things until they die.
Yeah. It's a little bit like when you were in high school and you went to prom and there was a girl you're really interested in and like you guys went to prom together and it was fun, but then like she ended up dancing with somebody else and you like for the first time noticed her friend. You're like, oh hey, wait, She's really cute too.
I didn't go to prom.
You didn't go to prom?
No, I didn't go to prom.
Hey, you missed nothing.
I was gonna... All right, welcome to Eric and Brian's therapy hour.
We're going to revisit all of high school. You remember that time we tried to sneak a sword into high school? And not for like a malicious reason, but just because we were trying to get a sword to go with us to Ren Fair. And someone caught us because we were going to hide a sword in a didgeridoo case and put it in my baritone locker in the band room.
It was a flawless plan, Eric.
It would have worked. No one would have noticed.
Until you chickened out.
I mean, my parents noticed. They probably would have noticed immediately.
That was back in the before times.
It was the olden days.
Anyway,
now
who's distracting us?
Listen, man, the ADHD is strong today. Yeah, I really like playing Vivian with Yanagi because also like the way Vivian works is a lot of her damage is dependent on the anomaly stat of another character on the team, right? Like a lot of what she scales off of is not her anomaly stat, it is Yanagi's, like whoever's triggering her blooms.
Yeah.
So the fact that like we already have you have a very stacked Yanagi, but the fact that we already have these like good anomaly characters built means that building hers a little bit easier, and it also is almost like doubling down on the investment on those other characters because so much of her value comes off of them.
Like a pseudo support anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she's strong.
Yeah,
she is. As we just said, she's strong as long as you have someone who's strong.
If you've got someone who's strong, and I know we can get into it a little bit. I've been trying to figure out like. She plays differently than I expected her to play. And she is one of the characters. I think we talked about this when she was first teased. She suffers from the gacha tradition, especially like the Chinese gacha tradition of giving everything in a character's kit its own unique name. That's also very long. And then having these like explanations of their stats that just become word salad.
Yeah.
Because you're parsing like there's like floating form and you've got guard feathers and floating feather. Like there's so much to piece together. But I think I can like simplify the play style that you want to be aiming for with Vivian. And it is different than we've had from previous characters. And like I wanted to compare her to Bernice. She is not Bernice.
Not quite, but it took a while for me to like get the base, because like you said, when they released it, and especially in like the teaser trailer when you're not even like able to play her and they're just talking through all of it and you're like, oh my god. Like, and then what I learned is you hit things until you get the small circles.
You get small circles.
And then you fly around, and then you dive bomb, and then you get the big circles. And the big circles are her off-field mechanics. So you hit until small circle, then make small circle, big circle, then you make Vivian go away, and then Vivian blooms.
And then she explodes. So it's all about getting small circles to big circles, then get rid of her. So like there are a bunch of different ways to build out small circles. If I remember correctly, she starts the fight with 2. She gets 1 from using her basic attack string until like she floats and then dive bombing. And that dive bomb generates 1 and is what converts all of your generated small circles into big circles. She gets 3 off her EX special, 2 from assists, like switching in to block attacks, and 5 from her ultimate. All of those, except for like the basic attack, which is the least effective one, and the assist generation require energy. So she cares about energy, but you really just want to do any combination of those to get up to 4 or 5, try not to overcap, and then get her into floating mode, which is at the end of her 4 attack string. What I like about her that feels really good to play is the moment she starts to lift up into the air, you can switch characters. Because once she's in that state, either you input an attack and she does her dive bomb, or when you switch, she activates the dive bomb on her own, but you're already controlling another character. Yes. So it is way faster. You really only need, like, ideally, you only attack with her 4 times, and then you switch characters. And that will generate all the charges you need and put her in the right state, do her extra attack, and now she's blooming and popping off until it's time to bring her out again. And they did, it's all in her kit, but it's really, really hard to parse, and it's not super well explained.
No,
but like when
like you said, they gave too many different names to too many similar things with no, especially playing missions with her was the best way, because I played the tutorial like twice.
Yeah, and
I feel like they break it up trying to teach you each mechanic in such a weird way that it doesn't connect. And then it like the first time I did it, I thought the inner circles were the things that you wanted to save. So I'm like, why is she expending them? And then I eventually realized, like, after being able to play her in a mode where like everything didn't die so quickly, I was like, it's the outer circles that you need to build, and the inner circles are what gets converted. That's why I can't keep the inner circles.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It felt a little bit like they. And I'll circle back on this. I feel like they've treated her...
I see what you did there.
They've treated her... I don't know what that sound was. It's a sad cat walked across my desk.
That was the perfect sound reaction to that really bad joke. Not even pity laugh, just pity groans.
Just, oh no. Like, between her tutorial... and then the way that she was used in the second half of the story, which we'll talk about later because I want to put a spoiler warning ahead of it, they've treated her like a DPS character, but she's not. Like, the tutorial makes it feel like is that you care about the full thing, about like using these feathers to get to the guard feathers, and like it's back and forth. But in reality, it's like, how quick can I get guard feathers, or like 4 to 5 dots, and then get her out of there?
Yeah. She's basically, like you said, she's the first anomaly character that you don't treat like a DPS.
Yeah. Because she's Bernice with more steps, because Bernice is just like, use your skill till your meter's full, make sure they've been hit, bye. But the trade-off is a lot more burst damage, and probably, I don't do the numbers, but probably a lot more overall damage.
At least
because
7.
of the time you're putting in.
7 more.
It's at least 7.
7 more.
Maybe
damage.
8.
No, that's too much.
7,
that's
17.
8 is ridiculous.
8's on the edge.
Yeah.
But I think like the game developers are in a weird spot, because either you have these really, I think there's a balance that they're still trying to find. You have these really complex character descriptions that they prioritize clarity of like terminology, not clarity of like uniqueness of terminology, so there's no way you that can get confused with other things, instead of brevity of language. Because like it could just say, when Vivian uses her EX special, do blah blah blah, right? But when you start getting characters like Yanagi, where the duration of the hold starts to matter, then the language gets weird anyway. So like, I understand why, but it is very hard to parse, and I think that also might be a cultural thing, because it's been put in English as well, and so like the language just gets funky.
Yeah, I recently found out they don't even have the word for feather in Chinese.
Really?
No, I made that up.
What is Brian? Can't with you. Why would I believe that?
That's the part I'm
it's not believable.
They're like, okay, of course they made a character with terminology for a word they don't have a word for.
There's no birds in China. I don't know if you know this. They just don't have them.
Nope, they're all extinct.
Oh my goodness. So the problem is, y'all, is that Brian and I recorded something yesterday for like 3 hours, and our brains are shot because we did something that was almost resembling real work. And so now I'm just going to believe everything Brian says. But Vivian, I like her. I think she's fun. I think she's a good addition. I do think she's going to be really good on future teams as well, because it seems like she can be kind of like, if there's a anomaly, we're good to go. So I would imagine she has some longevity in her kit.
Yeah, I think she falls into that similar vein to like an Asher Yao Caesar. Anyone who's more support focused is going to have more longevity. But then again, they also said that they were working on like future proofing or fixing past ones, so maybe everyone will have longevity.
I hope so. I'm really excited to see what that ends up looking like. because I cannot think of a single gacha game I've played that revamped old characters. Like they would release new versions of the character, right? But can you think of like I can't well
the only one I can think of is Fate Grand Order. They would every once in a while release updates to characters' abilities, but like one specific ability they would fix or make slightly better, but like never fully revamp a character's kit. And most of the time, every once in a while, they would actually like bring that character back up like a tier. But for the most part, like it didn't change much. You were like, you're still not using that character, even though it's got a slightly better ability.
Yeah, I'll be interested. I mean, I know I've played a number of Hoyo games, and they've apart from Zhongli, which when Zhongli released in Genshin, he was undertuned to the and because the region he's in is the Chinese region, the Chinese community was so vocal, and it's worth a Google, y'all, because I can't go into all the details right now, but like they essentially forced MiHoYo to make him OP. Like that's the only example I can think of in Hoyo games where they've updated the character post-launch. So the fact that like not only have they said, hey, we're planning on doing this, but they're like, we're planning on doing this for version 2.0 and not like 6.0 way down the line when they've got this huge roster, I think is exciting. I want to see what they do and how that shakes things up a little bit. Do you want to talk about the story, Bri?
No.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks for joining us. So we...
Spoiler warning, we're going to talk about the final chunk of the story. If you haven't played it yet, pause and do that. I'll try to flag it in the...
Doesn't take long, maybe
notes.
3-4 hours.
Yeah, how long did it take you? Okay, that's not bad.
No, it's not super long, and a lot of it's very talk heavy. So I mean, if you really don't even care about the story, you could fast forward through it all in about 10 seconds.
Don't do that. I know people will, but don't do that.
Yeah. So
I mean, like I did most of it on my phone in an airport or on planes. So like it is just a lot of talking and reading, but I thought it was really compelling.
Yeah. So this is the second half of the epilogue where we get a little more Vivian, we get more.
A lot of Hugo.
We get a lot of Hugo, and then we kind of get a little bit more about Tops and we met Yixuan, which we'll talk about later. Smudge on my monitor and it was bothering me.
Oh no! What will you do?
All right,
your 8-foot long monitor.
Where were we?
You said we learned some about Tops. I said that we got to meet Yixuan briefly.
Yes.
We saw Vivian's kind of prophecy sort of come to fruition, kind of, or her trying to change her prophecy. And we just kind of got the ball rolling for our move into 2.0.
Yeah. So, basically the story is they're continuing to... Sorry, I paused because my cat was clawing at something. I didn't want that noise while I was talking.
You're good.
So the story is Vivian and Belle are still searching for those that sacrifice core. They work with
which was way smaller than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I thought it would be a big.
Every time they talk about the sacrifice core, I'm thinking of something like a decently sized chunk. Yeah,
I pictured a Pokeball-sized thing.
Yeah,
right, like a sphere.
Yeah, I also was thinking of a sphere because usually when things are cores, they are circular, not a little diamond or a little gem.
Look like a little gem, look like an emerald.
But yeah, so they're following the tracks. We learn a little bit more about Vivian, how she used to work was with the Exaltists.
We learned about a lot about the Exaltists, which we'll be getting a lot of. It looks like in 2.0, and that she was with them. And we learned about the guy. Was it Landon?
Landon, yeah.
Landon was like
her adopted father,
cult leader,
doing experiments trying to improve sacrifices, but the Exaltists didn't like it because the Exaltists want sacrifices that they can control, and Landon was making really strong sacrifices that no one could control.
Yeah.
And then he ends up dying. And then his daughter takes over, who he was going to sacrifice.
Yep. who's got her own parental issues. I liked seeing the daughter. I liked seeing Vivian's kind of like pseudo older sister person who was still in the organization. I appreciate that they're like letting characters still be in these, like affiliated in these different spaces, to give us like a viewpoint into the Exaltus or into Landon's project where he was sacrificing people.
Yeah.
Or like, I think they did that really well. That woman, okay, the sister.
Camille or Dina?
Yes. Camille.
Yeah.
We saw her during Astra Yao's event, didn't we? No, not Astra Yao's. She was in the lobby during part 1 of the epilogue before we did like the auction and things.
Yeah. Yeah, she was in the auction house. Because that's what they had talked about is because what we come to find out is that the whole time the sacrifice core was a fake planted by Hugo. Specifically designed to draw out people who were interested in sacrifices.
Yeah.
Also, surprise, Hugo's not dead. The character
not dead.
The character on the second banner and is featured heavily in the promo isn't dead.
Well, I appreciate that, like, even like Vivian and Belle were not committed to Hugo being dead. Like, they started hearing things and they're like, that's probably Hugo. Like, they didn't even try to bait it for the audience that much.
Yeah, I did. Was it the one point where Vivian is talking to Esjal and she said, "Oh yeah, a guy in a hat checked the security footage," and Vivian's like, "Man in a hat? That's got to be Hugo." As if no one else in New Eridu has access to hats.
No one else wears a hat. It's just him, obviously.
But yeah, no, I kind of like what they did because they have Vivian and Belle try to sneak into Ravenlock's manor or through a party to try to like find evidence on him, and then it immediately goes wrong when Ravenlock is like, "Do you think I'm stupid? I knew you guys were going to show up here." And then it cuts to Hugo, and he said, "Surprise! Rumors of my death were greatly exaggerated."
It's me. I really liked that they did with Hugo the same kind of thing that we saw back with Jane Doe, of like letting us play as that character and experience it from their perspective.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Hugo hypnosis sequence, him trying to sweat out the poison,
where Robin is his inner demon.
Robin's his inner demon. They did a really it's not a new trope, but I really liked Hugo within the first cycle being like, all right, I know what this is. Let's just deal with it.
Yeah.
like that was such a baller move.
I do think it's
not
interesting.
Drag that out.
Because this is the second time they've done something like that. Because during Miyabi's story, that was their plan, was to make her so upset that she was consumed by her sword.
Yeah. There's definitely a theme of like your inner demons being the biggest threat to you.
Yeah.
That like I think if they do it again, it's a trend. Right?
I did,
like they have to do it at least one more time.
I enjoyed how catty Hugo was while arguing. He was like, "You've already said you're part of me, and I'll never have an advantage over me, so this is pointless."
It was so self-aware and so like just it was petty. He's such a petty bee. He's like, even with myself, I'm not playing my own games because I am already playing the game.
But yeah, so he sweats out the poison. They cut back to Ravenlock, or they do a little bit more where Lycone and Hugo go on a buddy adventure to get evidence to bring down Ravenlock,
which was cute.
Yeah, and then he just immediately. I enjoy it was one of those where like by the time Hugo encounters Ravenlock, the plan's already accomplished. He does a Ozymandias from Watchmen where he's just like, yeah, my plan's already done. Like, turn on the TV.
Yeah, that's a really good comparison because they're also both like up in their own brains and too smart for their own good, but also are successful with what they planned on doing.
Yeah,
despite it, like
so
they win. Like Hugo wins. I thought the structuring of this one was really nice because it was very clear where like we'd wrapped up with part 1 focusing mostly on Vivian, and like we moved into all the stuff with Hugo, and it flowed really nicely, but didn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you got your time with Vivian, and then you got your time with Hugo, because you saw his past in the first part, and now you saw him dealing with it in the second part. But also that was how they introduced the serum, which is what the ultimate plan is they realize that if you supercharge a sacrifice, it won't listen to anyone. But if you then mind controlled that supercharged sacrifice, you can control him.
It's like plugging a power strip into another power strip. Like, it'll work, but it feels wrong. You know, like, that doesn't seem safe.
Yeah. But yeah, so after Ravenlock is brought down, then we have one last adventure where we go in and we try to stop Dina from completing more of those sacrifices, because like Camille successfully destroyed most of the sacrifices that they had stored around New Eridu. Which I felt like a little bit sad, because it feels a little anticlimactic, because they were like, oh, there's all these sacrifices all around New Eridu ready to go at any point. And then Camille's like, I blew him up. I destroyed him.
I wonder if the sacrifice thing continues to be present, which I'm sure it will. I wonder if what they were really trying to say was like, she got rid of all of the ones in that hollow. Like, but since we're going to, I think we're next to the Lemian hollow in the next season.
Yeah.
There may be more sacrifices. Like, if it's all over New Eridu, like they have that gun now, that Chekhov's gun, that they could pull the trigger on later, but they could also not, and it would be okay. But I'm a little with you. I'm like, I would have liked to have done something with them instead of just being told, oh, they're gone.
Although it also it's one of those when they first introduced the concept of the sacrifice, you know, it happened at the fall of Eridu, so I thought this was going to be a much more involved, complicated process, and like there's only one, two, maybe, and like they are like the reason they're called a sacrifice is because they create hollows when this occurs, and then it goes on to being like, oh no, if you just like jam a ring inside someone's stomach, they turn into a sacrifice.
Yeah, and I've got this magic spray that gets rid of them. It's cool. We'll clear it off screen. But Vivian confronts
Dinah,
who's like, there's the whole sibling thing, and like that was a really compelling. So I'm not going to recount that part. It was a compelling story. And then Dinah is like, well, you know what? Screw it. Now I'm going to be a sacrifice.
Yeah. What I really enjoyed is Dina being a mirror to Vlad.
Yep.
Because Vlad said, I'm not going to give in to my rage. And Dina said, all I have is my rage. So if I get rid of it, I have nothing. So I like it because even to the point where Camille sacrificed her life so she can have a new life. And she said, you know what? No, I hate Camille. So now I'm going to do the opposite of what she just did just to be mad at her.
It was a really good, those parallels are really good. There's a name for that it'll come back to me in a minute.
Oh, I think it's like a parallel.
No. There's another word. There's a word for when a character is like a reflection of another character.
Mirror.
Literature. Brian,
I'm helping.
I hate you so much. Foil. She serves as a foil, both to Hugo's rejection of his own anger, but also to Vivian's familial connections and how she's made or not made friendships. And she was a really cool boss fight.
Yeah, that was
visually
cool.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like because it was just a Vivian fight, they super toned down the boss.
Yeah,
because that boss battle ended so soon.
And I felt, and maybe it's because I just wasn't playing Vivian right, it felt like I was missing something when I was doing that boss fight. That was probably the weakest part of the whole narrative to me, was a one-on-one boss fight, Vivian versus her, which narratively is very interesting, but mechanically, we've already talked about it, Vivian excels when she's not on field.
Yeah, I would say
and there's no way to switch her out. So it made sense, but it didn't feel good mechanically to me.
It's basically every time they have had a single character fight an enemy, like a boss.
They did with Lycone against Hugo, right?
Yeah, but basically every time they do it, you can feel that the game is not designed for that encounter, and the encounter always becomes kind of a slog just because the character's not. You need someone else to bounce off.
Things.
Like you need some other component for this character's kit to really, like the Lycone Vlad one. That was another one. I'm like, all right, I get why we're doing it, but Lycone's a stunner, so I'm just sitting here kicking him and doing no damage, and then mix in specifically with Vlad being able to parry your attacks and then slow you down and like counterattack. That
oh, come on!
I hated that fight. I was like, this is the worst.
See, that's fun. I think you and I are flipped because I liked the Lycone Vlad fight way more than I liked the Vivian Dana fight. But I think that's because I'd spent a lot of time playing as Lycone, so I was more comfortable on him.
Yeah, that could be because Lycone. I was like,
this stinks.
All right, oh, we got it. We're done. Let's move on.
I wonder, thinking about it right now, if this is a problem that we will not talk about much in the future, because had Belle had her training to become an agent, she would have been able to fight alongside Vivian. Even if it was about Vivian, it would have given another character to switch to because she was already in the space.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's
ready for Battle Bell.
Thinking about. I wasn't
Battle Bell and
like,
Warrior
it's
Walter.
growing on me. Battle Bell, Warrior Wallace. But I think even then, like to your point, the fight didn't overstay its welcome. It was a cool fight. I'm excited to see that boss come back or that model come back for fights. Yeah. I thought it was really cool, and I want to see that on like deadly assault levels of aggression.
Oh yeah, because that was a super aggressive boss.
It was already super aggressive. I was thinking about like the new red robot they added, the deadly assault, that like it just doesn't stop punching you.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, I want that with that level of like aggression, because they would just feed each other. Like your Vivian's gonna be stacked or you're gonna die. Like that's how it's going to work. I also, so what we haven't talked about, Vivian beats Dana. Dana makes her final like
Hadouken.
Her death rattle to try to kill both of them.
Yeah.
And Vivian sacrifices herself
herself
with the thing to supercharge and kill Dana to protect Belle. And then Vivian like instantaneously starts to crystallize and turn into an ether monster.
Yeah, because she took the ether goo.
She's jabbed herself with ether goo.
Easter goo.
But she's got Easter goo.
Oh, she's like a Cadbury cream egg.
That you forgot about for a week because it was hidden under a bush.
Yeah, but so then then we discover that Belle has even more powers than previously known.
Belle continues to be the anime protagonist and is able to turn her eye turned into the Void Hunter symbol.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah, I noticed that. So Belle's going to be the 7th Void Hunter.
I wonder, I would have to go back to that video. I wonder if she is like in some way channeling one of those initial Void Hunters by the way of like her teacher's work.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't know, but she magically fixes the ether corruption and then they both pass out. And then they wake up later and everyone's like, hey, she's good, man. I don't know what you did, but you did it. And no one was there to see it, so we can keep stringing that along for a little while. I thought it was cool. They need to do more with it, but I also hope they don't spend too much time just like explaining how it works. Like it's boring. But my thinking was we learned a little bit about what the Exaltists' goal is, or what they say their goal is, right? Which is the cult's belief is that the Hollows could be more than just a disaster. So their approach has been, if we can like become one with ethereals, the Hollows aren't a problem anymore. Let's do that. If Belle and maybe Wyatt are able to organically purge ether corruption, they could become really, really valuable to the Exaltists. And that may be one of the places we're going in the future of them being like...
Or not valuable.
or a problem, right?
If
it's not going to be good either way.
They're a cult, so they obviously they're going to have culty ideas, so they're going to want to mix with ethereals. So if you have someone who can purge them, because now she can attack them in two ways.
Or
because she
control
killed
ether.
She destroyed Bringer, like just completely. They completely erased him, and now they're able to reverse ether corruption and other people. At some point, it will be able to be on command, because that is kind of the hook that they built in to get us to the new area. Is Yixuan is a Void Hunter, now a confirmed Void Hunter.
Yeah. Well, she has a different symbol,
right? But I don't think
it matters anymore.
Well, because in the story they say she is a Void Hunter rank.
I thought it was Void Hunter level power.
No. In the story, they specifically said she is a Void Hunter rank. But either way, she is going to teach Belle how to use her power.
It seems like it.
I'm also interested to see how this goes in the future, because they at the beginning you were locked into Belle or Winston.
Yeah.
And then once they unlocked the ability for you to swap between them, you could kind of change who was in charge at any point, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yes, except when it comes to narrative things, it always goes back to your...
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes
Anytime
sense.
you do story, it's if you picked Belle, you're Belle. If you picked Wendigo, you're Wendigo.
Yeah, okay. So that makes sense, because now he is sidelined while Belle is off on her hero protagonist journey.
I mean, the teasers had them both going, so they may end up amping them both up. It's just like for I don't know.
That could also just have been their way of being like, we know people have choices, so we're not dealing with animating two different.
Yeah, we're just gonna put them both in. That'll be good. It'll be. I think it's interesting. I think it's that we're definitely setting up for something here. I'm cautiously optimistic that I want there to be complications with her powers, right? And I think there has to be, but I think it's boring when the character just becomes super strong. So I'm interested. So many things have been going right for them, and lately something's got to happen pretty soon.
Yeah, I am. I'm curious to see the fact that Belle just constantly has a supply of etheric energy in her at all times. I don't know if that's going to be the downfall, or if it is just going to be one of those that the weakness to her power is that it's so strong that she just keeps getting attacked.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what happens. I wonder if her surging with etheric energy is one of the reasons Trigger is so attached to her, because Trigger would see her totally differently than everybody else in New Area.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So I saw somebody talking about do Trigger and Vivian get in fights and who can camp out on top of random play each night? Because they're both just always there watching their chosen person.
But yeah, so that was the story.
That was it. It was fun. I also appreciated that Yixuan was introduced. She does a really cool thing. She has a great action sequence.
Oh, they sold her with that animation. She shows up, beats the tar out of everyone.
You good?
No, my cat decided all of a sudden to now just be the most obnoxious possible.
I actually heard that one.
Yeah, she's just walking around the room, knocking things over, just making as much noise as possible.
She's like, do you have to stop recording?
She's been asleep in the same spot for 4 hours, and now she's just like, ah.
Don't talk about Yixuan, talk about me.
Yixuan.
Cool animation, cool fight, saves us briefly, and then just is gone for the remainder of the story until we get to the little post-story.
Yeah, where you just kind of walk around the town with her.
So one, I wanted to say I appreciate that they've set up 2.0 without this whole thing being here's how you're going to get there. But two, what are your thoughts on Yixuan now that we've actually seen her?
I mean, she's definitely got fun flair. She looks like she's going to have some really cool visuals. My initial thoughts on the character, she's okay.
Yeah. I think I I want to know her a little bit more, because right now it feels like we're getting like public facing Yixuan, but I feel like we're gonna get a little bit of a Caesar thing where like she comes off as one way, but once you get to know her, she's kind of a big dork.
Yeah, because she kind of is very calm and collected the whole time you're introduced, and like that's fine. Like there can be calm and collected people, but they usually don't end up being super exciting because there's nothing to like latch onto.
Yeah, you need rough edges so you can like hold on to the character, right? And like just being hot and having a cool ink bird, it will get you pretty far, but it's not going to get you all the way there.
Like that'll get me to roll on her and to play her.
Yeah, I'm gonna get her. Don't get me wrong.
But yeah, like she'll never be like a She's just in the closet making noise.
Let her meow. I'll keep some of this in so people have context. It'll be okay.
But yeah, she's.
They'll do more with her because like they clearly have done, like they know how much they like her.
Yeah.
And I did want to say before we talk about the current events, we have had her drip marketed now. We got like that agent record video. That's just like a 13-second video of like, here's the character, here's what their voice sounds like, here is their element and their role. And I don't know if you saw that, Brian, but her element and okay, I'm gonna give this to you real quick. Okay, it will say her name and then says Yunkui Summit, and then it's got like a symbol with Bang Boos.
Oh yeah.
A symbol. Yeah. So normally that middle symbol would be electric or physical or ether. And hers is something new. We've only ever seen that with Miyabi, right? So already we know. I have a theory that it's going to be ether. It's probably ether or physical, just because like the way she looks.
Yeah, I was going to say based on the look, I was going to say physical. Just because
she looks like a physical
her
attacker.
bloom was yellow, which
she's all yellow. But it'll be like Miyabi, where like you farmed ice materials, but she does frost fire or whatever. The thing I wanted to highlight for our wonderful audience is that where it would show her class, it's new. It's not stunner, attacker, defender, support, or anomaly. It's something totally different, right?
Oh.
So
they're introducing a new class.
I think we're getting a new class, which is one, very exciting, but two, W engines are limited to class. So this is a new character coming out. They will inevitably give us some type of A rank W engine, but if you're one of those people who sometimes rolls on Wenjins and sometimes doesn't, it might be worthwhile to save up for her Wenjin, because there's not going to be a lot of options around with it being a brand new class. That's my theory. Just we know what we know, but it might be worthwhile to start saving in case like she becomes a
poor Vlad.
Yeah, I know.
And later,
or get Vlad, or don't worry about it, because if she's like Miyabi, you don't necessarily need her W engine to devastate everything in the game, anyways. But it also means that we don't really know what her role is going to be on a team, right? We don't know if she's going to be a new supporter to compete with Astra Yao, or if she's going to be a new massive AoE DPS, whatever it's going to be. As soon as we do know, we'll talk about it. But I wanted to flag that here now for people in case they hadn't caught that little bit when this was teased 3 days ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, recently.
Just keep counting back. You'll get there.
Yeah, it's one of those. It was on April 26th is when it came out. So real quick before we wrap up here, how much of the new events have you been able to do?
I've done more of the Grand Marcel BangGuys thing.
Yeah. BangGuy 2 Electric Boogaloo.
It's same as before. If you liked it before, you'll like it again. If you hated it, well, just get the achievements, get done with it. It's not hard. Yeah. I haven't done any of the flower event.
Okay. For the BangGuys event, I will say I don't know what rank you've made it to yet. Once you get to, I want to say diamond rank, you can start losing rank instead of just only gaining.
Yeah.
So those last two achievements are not going to be super hard, but if you don't like the event or you just are not having a good streak of wins, you're not missing out on much if you don't get them. Because like one of them is like Ether 500 is a number of wins.
Yeah.
And around that rank, people get real sweaty about it, right? Like the tile puzzle one where you're just trying to like not fall to the bottom. It was around gold rank when I started noticing people are not running. They're just hopping from tile to tile right before it disappears.
Oh, yeah, like maximizing there.
Really like maximizing. I've done it a couple of times where if I realize like, hey, I'm the only one on this level.
Yeah.
I'm just going to milk this for as long as I can. But it gets really sweaty around that point. You've also got like people like diving into you to try to knock you off. And so like it makes sense to start saving your dive to catch back up after you get run into. It gets heavy. So if you're not having fun, get the title, get the chromes and stop.
Yeah, I think they do what they normally do where like to get all of the polys and the title and everything, you have to do most of the event. And then if you really want to try hard, you just get like a little bit extra resources and bragging rights.
Yeah. I really like it. It's one I find it a lot of fun. I've never played Fall Guys, but I feel like I would probably enjoy it. I'm having a lot of fun doing this one. Even if I don't try to like take other people out, I'm just trying to not throw myself into a hole over and over again because inevitably I will jump in the same place every time and fall in the same hole every single time.
Or do like me where you accidentally move your mouse right when you hit jump and dive, and so you just launch yourself off the platform and you're like, all right, cool, I'm the first one out.
At least it's quick. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've like panic dove and went from being like on the top level to like the very bottom because I just managed to fall through every single hole. I like the gauntlet mode more, but I'm better at the tile mode, you know? I don't know. The flower event, I did a couple of rounds of it. I was doing it while I was traveling. So it was actually kind of nice to have that event because so far there's been no fighting. It is just talk to people, make a flower arrangement, deliver the flower arrangement to these characters that we already care about, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's one because they've definitely done a lot. They do a lot of these events now where there's no actual fighting. Like they might have some mechanic, but yeah, they've definitely leaned into the not everything needs to just be go here, do this, fight a monster. That was it. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that I'm curious about is this is a Ridu Chronicle event, which means like this is one of the ones that when its runtime ends, which we still have like over 30 days to do it, but when its runtime ends, it becomes a legacy event, so you can still do it to unlock like the mechanics it unlocks. All of the other legacy events have had a combat component, right? Even Overlord's Feast, while we were managing a shop, there was still like some combat quests attached. So I don't know if it's just because I haven't gotten far enough or if they've replaced the combat component with a socializing component.
Was there combat in the fishing event?
The fishing event? Ooh, was there combat in the fishing event?
I don't remember there being.
I want to say there was. For just like, there wasn't much. It was like for like just the main story progressing. Somebody tell us if we are misremembering. Either way, I like it. I think it's fun. I appreciate the puzzles. I haven't gotten to the like hard ones yet, if there are any, but it's my plan for tonight after my wife goes to bed is to sit there on my phone and put something on the TV and mill through that event. And we're never complaining about essentially free polychromes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'll take it for sure. What's the other treat we get for this one? We get polychromes. Do we unlock any characters or anything on this one? Oh, it's the Bang Boo. We get Overtime Boo.
Oh, yeah,
for doing this. So I'm excited to get Overtime Boo just out of principle. Yeah, man. I mean, it's the end of it's essentially the end of season 1 of ZZZ. And I think it's in a really good place to keep progressing. It's a very different game than it was when we started this podcast.
Yeah, they have definitely gone through a lot of changes as they've tried things, see what works, see what doesn't. They definitely have taken a lot of feedback from people. So I am curious to see because there's season 2 is going to feature a lot of big quality of life changes. So I'm excited to kind of see what everything looks like and get.
I want to see the new things. I want to see like how they iterate on what they have and what new ideas they have for us. But I'm also hopeful that like they do keep trying to revitalize or iterate back on some of these previous things that they put time into, but that they kind of got pushed to the wayside.
Yeah, I'm also I'm curious to see where the story goes.
Yeah,
for like long term, because like I mean I guess overall we haven't really touched on anything that's been introduced, like Fairy's taken a backseat to a lot of these last events.
Wherever Fairy is for the last couple of chapters, she's somewhere.
She was in this one when
she had 2 lines.
When Phaethon wakes up and Vivian is sleeping on her, and Fairy immediately just winks out.
She's like, "Okay, cool, see you later," and that's all we saw of Fairy.
But yeah, considering the fact that the AIs were key parts that were discussed in like the promotional trailers when they first came out, it's one of those where it like a part of me thinks, oh wow, they're really progressing through the story, and then in other parts like, oh no, we are off doing like this whole other thing that may not even be tied to any of the other AIs or what was going on.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that defines ZZZ is that the small things, like the small stories, are the big story. In a way, we're like, I'm not going to wax poetical about like the narrative structure.
Don't let this episode stop you.
Yeah, man.
It's never stopped you before.
I'm just going to keep going. Someone's got to say it. It's going to be me. One day I'll say something that actually makes sense too. Like Zinlas's willingness to like commit to side stories and commit to the smaller narratives and like to let those have their moment without overstaying their welcome means that like season 1's over, and it's been a series after series of, or story after story of narratives that felt compelling, moved the plot in some way, but also felt complete, right?
Yeah.
Like Tour de Inferno felt like a complete story. It gave us bits and pieces to chew on about like the overarching narrative, but that felt contained and completed. We saw the same thing, I mean, with the most recent arc, right? With Hugo's stuff. Yeah, it's setting up 2.0, but it is its own contained narrative. And I think like that makes me like, I'm with you. I'm really excited about what 2.0 brings, because they do have this bigger plot that they can play through, but they can take their time and they can tell all these other stories, and it feels rewarding. And there is nothing right now that is so pressing that it feels wrong to not be addressing it.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing that they're doing correct, is they're not setting this sort of timeline where they're like, oh, the end of something is imminent. That things are popping up, they're going, they're investigating, they're like, oh, this is part of a bigger thing, but then they solve it at that time. So you're not left with these like, why are we going and doing a Bang Boo Fight Club when at any point all of New Eridu could be destroyed by a new hollow spawn?
Yeah, like they're avoiding like the JRPG thing where like a meteor is about to crash into the planet, but I'm going to go do 40 hours of side quests real quick.
Yeah.
Right? But they're also avoiding the thing where like, oh, cool, you started this story. We're not going to finish it for 2 years. So like, we'll come back to it. Don't worry. Like it does feel very consistent. I hope they continue that kind of narrative structure as we move forwards. Because it's very fun to talk about. It's fun to experience. And it gives you and me the thing that we really like, which is like there's little morsels that you like put together this like you put together to put together that you assemble into this greater narrative.
Poetry.
It's pretty rough. Yeah. That's my English degrees at work here. But like I think we both like when you get the little bit, they can go, oh yeah, oh that leads to this, and that makes this make more sense, and maybe this is going to happen, instead of it always being about this big, grandiose, overarching narrative that by the very nature of a gacha game, they don't want to resolve because the game is a live service.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say, Brian, before we start our closing here?
Nope. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. Okay. So real quick, if you like what we do, Like, subscribe, comment, follow, whatever in your podcatcher. Tell your friends if they play ZZZ that it's a pretty fun podcast to listen to. If they don't play ZZZ, tell them they should. It's actually pretty good. If you want to be my lover.
Nope.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
That's not it.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So real quick, the next 2 episodes that we will be releasing, the one that will be coming out on May 15th and the one that's going to come out on May 29th are going to be our end of season 1 special. We've already recorded it. It was a lot of fun, if not a little bit chaotic. But that's going to be what we do through May, just because life is a little hectic right now. And also, I think if my math is correct, we won't get 2.0 till June. Is that right, Brian?
Oh,
is that what we talked
I
about?
don't know. MiHoYo doesn't consult on me with these things.
Listen, I thought we'd done the math previously.
We have done some like
we've done some
napkin
janky math.
Yeah, where like if they
banners are out for 3 weeks.
Yeah, if they keep up
We've
with how
got
they're
2
going,
weeks on Vivian.
then it will be out in June.
Yes, it would be out probably around June 10th, June 11th, and our next episode comes out June 12th. So if at all possible, we will try to our first episode in June should at least cover a special program for 2.0, if not the launch of 2.0. But I'm really excited about what we have for our next 2 episodes. We hope y'all enjoy it. If you haven't already done so, feel free to join our Discord. The link is in the show notes. It's a really chill community. It's been really cool to be able to talk to people and engage in the conversations that we've had. And everyone's just been so nice and so friendly, even when Brian and I try dumb things with our podcast.
You mean talking?
Just talking. You would think that would be easy, but
hey, sometimes you gotta get morsels to put together.
You gotta put together to put together, and then you put. I'm ending the show. This is it. I can't. Go find your cat. Bye.
Bye.